Now, before we get started, I would really love if you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can get the latest content from the YouTube channel, The Last Rewind. And don't be shy about leaving your comments at the bottom of the page, because you are the sole reason why this channel will be successful. Thank you. Have you ever fed a homeless person and the homeless person complained that you gave them too much food? Doesn't quite make any sense. You know, the homeless person is probably like, I'm happy to get anything you give me because I'm homeless and I haven't eaten in a while. Well, it sounds like Cheryl Miller has that same type of affliction when she complains that the WNBA is not getting enough money from the NBA, even though they owe them money. Doesn't quite make any sense. The NBA has promised, according to, I guess it's a well-found rumor, to give them $2.2 billion over 11 years to help grow the NBA, which is subsidized by the NBA. The owners would like to have their money back, if you please. But Cheryl Miller did not think this was good. She actually wants more money because she thinks they deserve it. Take a listen for yourself.
With this new television contract kicking in starting after this next season, that number is being raised over 300%. They're going to be receiving $200 million a year for a total of $2.2 billion. Only problem is the WNBA Players Association president and now Cheryl Miller are unhappy about the massive raise. Take a listen.
Reporting about a $2.2 billion media rights deal out there.
There's rumor of it?
Reporting about the next media rights deal.
Then if you, I'm not great with numbers, low ball.
Why do you say that?
That's a low ball. You're saying how much?
$2.2 billion over 11
Not
years.
enough. Not even close. Now, I'm not trying to inflate it a whole lot, but a 2's nice, and 8 would be better. That's what I'm talking about, because they know. They know. And we certainly have come a long way. And I'm not about gouging, but it's a long time overdue, and we're going to continue to get better and better. All you have to do is look at, you know, college basketball and what's coming next, the next wave of excitement. And you have this now, and pretty soon we're going to add another gold medal. So women's basketball is in a great place right now.
So you heard what Cheryl Miller had to say. She wants 3/4 more, just about, than what the NBA is planning to give them. And she says, well, look at the next wave that's coming through in the college ranks. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that none of the WNBA players are not great. There are some great players in the WNBA, but were they captivating is the problem, is the question. Caitlin Clark is not the best player in the WNBA, but she is the most captivating based on what she did in college. Will she be the best player one day? Well, that remains to be seen. But that doesn't mean the next wave of college players are going to capture the imagination of the next wave of fans. This may be it. That may be it. You may have to just depend on Caitlin Clark for the rest of her career to bring in ratings. And the ratings is exactly what she's doing. If you don't believe me, check this out. This stat here, WNBA viewership season to date for all networks, Caitlin Clark games averages a 1.184 million rating. All other games, 428,000. Still up from all games last year this time that were 301,000. Now, again, I understand people do like watching Angel Reese. But as I've said before, I don't think Angel Reese is the major reason. She is a reason, but compared to Caitlin Clark, I don't think she is a major reason. She helps. Every movie has a main actor, a star, and a supporting cast. You know, unless you're talking about that movie Castaway, which even then that had a supporting actor. When you talk about Tom Hanks and the volleyball didn't say much, but he did lend a helping hand for a big majority of the movie. But Tom Hanks, let's not forget, he was the star of that movie.
Wilson! I'm sorry! I'm sorry, Wilson!
What I'm trying to say is, if you are banking on a next wave of stars when you've had, I think, 28 years to make a star big enough to carry the WNBA to the next level, you're asking for trouble. And then you're upset that you didn't get more than $2.2 billion spread off across 11 years. What are you thinking, Cheryl Miller?
Hey, I got Bob Sugar on the other line. I better hear you say it.
Yeah, no. Show you the money.
Not show you. Show me the money.
Show me the money.
Yeah. Louder.
Show me the money.
That's it, brother, but you got to yell that shit.
Show me the money.
I need to feel you, Jerry.
Show me the money.
Jerry, you better yell.
Show me the money.
Furthermore, it doesn't make any business sense. If you've been around for 28 years, and I'm going to include this year as well, and you're still in the red, what business do you know that will last this long and you owe them, you're in the red, you're not making a profit? What business you know that's going to last almost 3 decades and not make any money? Most are going to go out of business. They're not going to last a full decade. Some businesses go out of business within a year or two without making any money. You've had 28 years. It's been reported that they've lost at least 10 million a year on average. And people are hearing that, the ratings are up. There are more people going to the games. So like, okay, that means we must be making a profit. Not quite. See, you are asking for more amenities. You're asking for charter flights. So now it's reported, from what I've heard, I think the Washington Post, that they're losing 25 million this year. You're still not making a profit. And the NBA is still keeping you afloat. So beggars can't be choosers, to come back to my earlier point. Be happy with what you got. And it's hard for the players. I understand they want to make the same amount of money as the NBA players or comparable. Right now, if I'm not mistaken, they get 10% of the WNBA's revenue. And if I'm looking at this correctly, let's see what I got on my stats here. Let's see, the NBA gets 40% of the WNBA's revenue. I know people are like, well, that's not fair. Well, why the owners don't get more than that, and then they can pass it on to the players. Then the players can get maybe 20 to 30%. Again, you owe them money. You should be paying them back first, and then you pay them. But let's just try this then. Why don't the WNBA just try to do it on their own? Break away from the NBA, pay off all your debts, and do it on your own. All the marketing, all the revenue, it's all up to you now. Right now, you're not in a financial position to survive. The NBA, let's just not sit there and act like they have always been financial juggernauts. At one point, they didn't know if they were going to last. In the 60s and 70s, they were not in a good position financially. And as we know, again, around 84 or such, Larry Bird magic brought them down from the graveyards and put them in the heavenly place that most NBA players love today with their 25 per year salaries that they get now. NBA players used to get like $30,000, $50,000 a year salaries at one point. They were in the same place that WNBA players are, but nobody complained that women won't showing up to the games and calling them misandrist. They just say, hey, we just got to work to bring more people to the table. One day your time may come. You just need to wait for it and keep working on putting a positive spin on why people should watch the WNBA.
That is not fair. That is not fair! That is not fair!
A star of a movie, again, is nothing without a supporting cast. And right now, you don't have enough of a supporting cast to put the eyes on the TV screen. Michael Jordan, as great as he was, and he did carry the league, he had a supporting cast. If the other players around him weren't good enough to play against him, nobody would have been interested in watching him. It would have been like me playing against a 2-year-old. And eventually people would have got tired. He had competition, as much as people try to sometimes claim he didn't have competition. He had competition that he won out in the end with those 6 championships. And I'm not hating on anybody from today. LeBron, same thing. When you have players that capture your imagination, like Steph Curry, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, Jokic from today, Anthony Davis. You got so many different players to look at that create competition and make you want to watch the game. Jason Tatum, I put him in there. They just won the championship. You have so many players that you want to watch and see what they can do on the court and show off their talents. Same thing with Michael Jordan. Same thing with Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Tim Duncan, and Kobe. Who are those players besides Caitlin Clark that make you have to turn the TV on and watch what they're going to do throughout the season? Not with just one marquee match between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, or the All-Star game, which did draw record ratings for their league. You need more of a supporting cast, and it ain't there yet. It's going to take time to build, but for right now, you're in no position to negotiate.
No, we don't negotiate with terrorists.
Right now, they're not in a position to demand higher salary, because let's also be honest, the owners want to make money. Owners can't make money like they want to if they're splitting most of their money with the players or paying back the NBA. They want to make a profit too. And people talk about, well, due to the increased viewership that one day, probably coming soon, there are going to be more expansion teams with the WNBA. Well, guess what's going to happen with that? There's going to be more division of the pie, and you're going to be losing more money unless you increase the revenue and unless you pay back the NBA. You can't demand for more revenue for the players like the NBA has. I think the NBA right now is 50-50 or like 49-51. I could be wrong. But they can demand that because they bring the owners so much money. Used to be like 9 figures you can go buy a team. Now it's a lot of teams, you have to pay over $1 billion. Look at the Charlotte Hornets. As bad as the Charlotte Hornets were, someone paid $2 million, if I'm not mistaken, for them. How you imagine what the Lakers are, or the Celtics, or the Knicks? But that's what the players over time have built equity in the teams, and it made it worthwhile to be an owner. Right now, it's not worthwhile to be an owner in the WNBA. It's going to take time. The time is not now, Cheryl Miller. You have to appreciate and build with what little you have. Try making $1 out of 15 cents first before you ask for $5 or $8 billion for that matter. That's all I have to say about that. This has been The Last Rewind. Please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see you on the next episode. Peace.